as well try. Hey guys, welcome to Women of One Tribe, where we're mastering our life and we're sharing what we know as we know it. One of my biggest goals of 2024 is that I wanted to put together a platform where I could interview some of the professionals in my life, that are professionals in their field, that can give us the tips and tricks to have a more fruitful and more well-rounded life and existence, taking a little bit of the stress and the edge off of the things that we just don't know. So I brought my girlfriend Sarah Tambosso on with us. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Leah.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Sarah is, I'm just going to give you a little back history here. She is a professional in the field of health and wellness. Integrative nutrition is huge for her. She loves yoga. She runs alongside doTERRA in natural oils and whatnot. And just a really great substance of all natural ways of taking care of your body so that your body can operate at its best. And we know that there's high demands out there that is always requiring that much more of us than we are capable of giving. So I wanted to bring her on just to tell us a little bit about what's going on in one area. We're going to bring her back many times, but there's one area that's very dear to my heart, is talking about primary and secondary foods. And you have mastered this time and time again in a lot of your studies, and we would love to just know a little bit more of tips and tricks and how can we identify, first and foremost, obviously the awareness is number one, but how can we claim that control in our lives and our bodies?
Right. Well, thank you for having me today, Leah. It's such a pleasure. Well, I mean, first of all, if we are going to talk about primary and secondary food, I could probably just explain what they are.
That's perfect, because a lot of us will know and a lot of us won't know. So we want to talk, when we're sharing any information on this platform, we do want to talk kind of in the layman's terms, because it gives us a simple skeleton and we can grow in each area of that, but we want the simple skeleton so we're all capable of integrating it into our world.
Of course, understood. Well, okay, so this concept of primary and secondary food actually comes from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and basically primary food is comprised of your friendships, your spirituality, your career, and your exercise.
Right.
And secondary food is what you put in your body.
Right. So primary food is not even food at all.
It's not.
No, it's just what we're doing and living and being. That's really interesting. That's really good facts, to look at it that way. And then secondary would be what we're consuming.
Right.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of people out there who, find themselves unwell, struggling with health concerns, and they, like myself, think, okay, well, we've tried all these things. Now I found this thing called nutrition, and I'm eating it, and based on this concept from Institute for Integrative Nutrition, if you thought that, for example, kale or broccoli was the healthiest thing in the world to eat, and that's all you did was eat kale and broccoli all day, every day.
Right, I've done that. I'm sure a few of us have done that. We're like, oh wait, this is the newest diet, the newest trend. We're jumping on that board, and then you kind of overdo it, and you're like, well, why isn't it working? Because why? Because
it's not all about what you're eating.
Right.
So
right.
And it's secondary because based on this concept is even if you were to eat all what you thought was the healthiest food, if those primary food areas of your life aren't working, it really doesn't matter what you're eating, because those are more important.
Right. So I can kind of relate to this. I'm just going to kind of throw it out. So I notice when I have, and I'm in stressful seasons of my life, that things are like clinging in my world. My whole body is just clinging to everything, clinging to whatever I'm absorbing. I'm finding different ways to cope with that that are all producing that unhealthy mindset for myself. If we're going to talk about primary food, stress massively takes a toll on any advancements that I want to make as well, because I kind of feel a little paralyzed, and so that would be a primary food, would be like putting yourself in a stressful situation, right?
Right.
That stressful relationship.
Yeah. So so based on that, so say you have stressful relationships.
Okay.
Maybe you know, there are people out there who have, you know, maybe not a really good marriage, for example, or they perhaps don't have, you know, a group of people that they can feel that they can lean on for support during difficult times. And so having those relationships are crucial to our well-being. And, you know, another aspect in your career, if you have to wake up every morning and you go to a job that you hate doing and you're resentful about even getting out of bed and getting yourself there, and then you're spending all this time at this career, which is going nowhere for you, it doesn't fill your cup, it's not, you know, you're not on living your purpose,
depleting.
Your body feels that and knows that. And so, you know, say you have maybe some not so great relationships, or you're in quarrels with people, or you're having a career that you don't like, or you have no spiritual practice, if you don't have a belief in anything, then that's really gonna cause,
that's really valuable too.
Cause serious health complications for yourself, and the exercise component is also
because we store this somewhere, right, in our body, just like we store food, we would store feelings.
Yes.
And if feelings are unsettled or unresolved, they can create dis-ease, right? That's something that you taught me, is dis-ease, right? If you're out of ease with oneself, which can come in all sorts of shapes and forms. So really what you're kind of leaning towards is letting go a little bit more of our need to control things and releasing the things that are not healthy for us.
Right, and also letting, you know, sometimes people, I find, they get really kind of stuck on thinking, well, this is the only way, I have to do this keto diet, or I have to do this paleo diet, and this is all I'm eating, and they're doing it, but then they're still not getting the results in their life. Like they're still not happy. They're still not
we know. I bet you every single woman that is listening right now knows exactly what you're talking about, because we've all been down the diet train.
Right.
And I think the thinnest I've ever felt was when I was whole and complete in all other areas of my life.
Right.
Because I wasn't thinking as much about the food. I was eating the foods that made me feel great, and I was in the company that made me feel good, that encouraged, uplifted me. I had the support system that I needed. You know, I was active because I wanted to get out and live life, you know, and there was an ambition. But we don't always feel that way. So how do we deal with it if we're not in a space of wanting to? Like, where would you recommend us to start in the primary foods? And the reason I focus so much on primary is because there's lots out there on the internet about secondary foods, and we all know the colors of the rainbows, and that's what you want to get into your diet, and there's so much more she's going to teach about us there. But it's the primary foods. What are some really great starting gates for us in these areas of relationships, stress? Like, what would you give us advice to balance?
My main recommendation is, if you've identified in your life that there's something that you want to change and you're looking for something more, whether it's more energy or more joy or more love or more feeling, you know, good in your body. You know, some people struggle with a lot of pain and a lot of, you know, health issues. So if there's something that you're identifying that you want to have be improved, my recommendation is to find someone to first actually acknowledge that this is something, like identify that this is something that you're looking
awareness
for.
Is the
awareness
biggest key.
Step one.
Step one. Awareness. Okay.
Awareness.
Write it down, ladies.
Right.
Yeah. Be honest with yourself. Don't fool yourself. Yourself knows yourself, so you can't lie.
Right.
Where are you at currently right now?
Yeah. If you're tired and you're lacking energy, an identifiable thing is, I would like to have more energy.
Right.
And so there's step one. Step two, find someone to be accountable to.
Ooh, an accountability partner. I love that. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
So when you're taking that step and finding someone that is, so that's actually kind of what I do as a health coach, because like you just said, you can look all over the internet and find all the information about diets and food and nutrition and macrobiotics, and you could look up and find anything you want on the internet. Google is very intelligent.
Yes.
So the thing that really transforms people's lives is having, yes, the knowledge, but the accountability to someone.
Yeah. Also, just to kind of add some more value to that, admitting to someone, because awareness is one, and now you're finding an accountability partner, but you're actually admitting verbally something that you want to change. And so let's stay with this like tired thing, because I really let's work that one right through here, because that's a great one, and we know when we're tired, and we know when we're lethargic and we're not feeling productive. That's something I think every single woman can also relate with on here. So let's work that one through. So awareness, we're admitting to someone else and having that accountability partner.
Yes.
Where would we go from that?
Yeah, so you've clarified, you've identified that you don't have enough energy, and you want, so say you're tired and lethargic, the contrast of that is you want more energy, you want more ability to have that drive to get up and go, especially in the morning.
Right.
We have a lot of things on our plate, a lot of responsibilities as women and mothers, and so there's a lot that we have to do, and we've identified, okay, we want to have more energy. Sometimes people pick their significant other, sometimes people pick a coach, sometimes people find a trusted friend, but you have to engage in that relationship with that person knowing that that's what they're doing.
Right.
That's the other thing. Like you could say, to your husband, you could say, you know what, honey, I really want to have more energy.
Right, but with no actual punchline for him, right? Like I need you to hold me accountable. We're not saying that. Then he's not gonna know. No one's gonna know, and nobody wants to force you to do anything. They want to run alongside you and make you feel comfortable. So they're not gonna ruffle feathers unless you give them permission to ruffle feathers. So giving permission to holding you accountable. Really, really
people aren't mind readers.
No, they're not.
They're
I know.
Not. So we have to say exactly what we're looking for. In this example, say you were to ask your significant other, honey, I want more energy.
Yeah.
And I'm asking you, I'm going to come up with some goals and some action steps that I plan to take on my part, but I need you to check in with me and to ask me about it and to hold me to what I've identified are my goals and steps and action steps.
And that could be as simple as them just asking you daily, like, hey, did you get up for a walk today?
Exactly.
Right? Okay, so taking action steps, I noticed you're already on to the next one. So action steps are, this is where it gets tough. And I know Mel Robbins, she's amazing. She's like that 5-second rule. I know some of you guys have heard of that. But if you take action within 5 seconds, your brain won't talk you out of it. And that's true, because you'll just take action and you'll just do. And the more that you just do, the bigger that habitual strand becomes, and it becomes more as part of your daily life. So when we're making action steps, we don't want to overwhelm ourselves. What would be 1 to 3 decision makings in this that we're tired situation?
So in this situation, whenever we're kind of laying out goals that are usually filled with action steps, we want them to be SMART, and that's an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. And you mentioned taking a walk.
Absolutely. Can you just repeat that one more time?
Yes.
Because that's really good, and this is a write-down moment. Write-down moment.
Right. So we want our goals to be SMART goals. So S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for attainable, R is for realistic, and T is for time-bound.
Okay.
So in the example of a walk, I've decided, okay, I want to get out for a walk. Okay, well, when?
Right.
I want to get out for a walk on the weekdays. Each weekday, I would like to get out at
in the morning
at 9, but we want to be very specific of the time too.
Okay.
So, once the kids are dropped off at school, if there's a window, at 9:15, I'm going to take a 20-minute walk. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 9:15.
Right.
20-minute walk. So 9:15 till 9:35, that's when I'm walking on those specific days. So that matches all the criteria. It's specific,
Right.
it's measurable,
Yeah.
it's attainable,
Of course.
it's realistic,
It totally is realistic.
and
Yeah.
it's time bound. So
And
it
it's
meets.
time bound. Okay, that's
Yeah.
great. That is really, really helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where we're at. We're in the action stage,
Yep.
and the more that we do it, the more that it becomes a habit. So I know one of the things that I always have to remind myself is just give yourself grace, because none of the changes that you make today are going to be like 15 minutes later you're seeing the results. Okay, so give yourself the grace of the realistic time frame so it can become a part of your lifestyle.
Yes.
One other thing was building a lifestyle that weaves in your self-care rather than having to stop your life to have the self-care. And that I really find is that primary food in a huge way, that self-care time, whether that be 15-minute walk. I love how simple a walk is. I'm telling you, when you're talking about really going through the tired zones in your life or the depressed zones in your life, just getting in that 10 to 15-minute walk changes everything. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just like Mel Robbins says, and get moving. Just start getting it pumping, and it will then lead you into, hey, I need a glass of water. Hey, maybe I'm going to take a vitamin with that water because I want to feel good right now, you know. Hey, maybe I'm going to write down a few notes. Maybe I'm going to pop into my office for a little bit. I mean, it's a domino effect, right, that can come out of every good choice that we make towards that goal.
Right, and if you wanted to tack on something that would kind of keep you motivated, is you could say to your partner or significant other or coach or whoever you're working with to keep you accountable, is you could say, you know, I've identified, you want to tell that person, this is what I've identified is something that I think is going to bring me more energy. For the next 30 days, I'm going to walk on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 9:15 for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to either text or call me at 9:40,
yes,
just to confirm that
just
I've gone for
check
my walk?
Specific, back to the specific. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so last question here about this. So do we intrigue ourselves with rewards at the end of these goals? Is that something that you have ever seen that has been more valuable or less valuable? Has been more discouraging, less discouraging? Would you recommend it?
Yes, always.
Okay.
Always find ways to celebrate yourself and celebrate
the
your
small wins.
Yeah,
Okay.
your accomplishments. Like, say, you get through a week. Maybe you didn't get all those walks in, but maybe you got through a few weeks and you look down at your shoes and you're thinking, you know what? Part of the reason I don't love walking is because my shoes are uncomfortable.
Right.
So maybe I'm going to treat myself to a brand new pair of running
Love
shoes.
Love that.
And there we go. That's
And that's going to inspire you even more. But I love that too. Small wins. If you fail, get back up. If you miss a day, don't even focus the attention on it, right? Because the more you focus your attention in one area, again, these are words of the wise you've shared with me. You focus your attention on something, you're going to get more of it.
Right.
Right. So where are you focusing your attention? And just stay eyes on the prize, because it gets easier every time. Yeah.
And say you did buy those shoes, and it might inspire you to wake up, wow, I get to wear my new shoes and they're so comfortable and they make my walking. Maybe I'm even going to go for longer than that time.
Yes.
Maybe I'm going to maybe I'm even going to get some hiking shoes, and maybe I'm not just going to walk just around my neighborhood. Maybe I'm going to go out plan a hike somewhere where I can use my shoes, and it's kind of a snowball effect.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And that is a life of taking care of yourself. So that was one little thing, and I thank you, Sarah, for all of that. There was so much value there that I know that if you wrote it down, bringing a journal again to every single one of these is just so key, because all of these little goodies add to be the big goodies, and they become your future life, where you want to be and hitting those goals. So thank you again, Sarah, for coming, and we'll bring her back because she has got much more to share. And again, Canada's Canada's Holistic
Health
Health
Coach.
Coach. I love it. I love it. That is her title. And that's a big goal. That is aiming for these stars. And I believe it. You have so much that you've learned and you've changed lives through this all. So it's people like Sarah that we want to run alongside as we learn and grow together. We'll see you again, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.